Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today is October 26th, Sunday. Um, First and foremost, my utmost respect and gratefulness to Almighty God for all the protection and the gift of life, and to His Majesty, our beloved President Ferdinand Ibrahim Marcos Sr. Tatang, thank you so much for your guidance, for all your advices. And to our beloved Queen, and King, congratulations for all the transaction that you made. Thank you so much for all your sacrifice, for all the, even how hard the mission, but you're still there for us. So, sa lahat ng ating mga kapatid, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, magandang umaga. Ayun, na bigat yung amin, mayong aga, mayong buntag sa tanan. Magandang umaga po. At sa ating mga kapatid, saan mang sulok sa mundo, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. So this is our regular motivational and educational program, but I go earlier because alam ko naman si Bunso talagang kumbaga nga, tatawag lang yun. But ang gusto ko lang naman kasi na kumbaga nga, maipahayag, at least malaman natin lahat na kumbaga nga, kung tahimik man tayo ngayon, wala kaming mga reply or wala mga update-update dahil may ginagawa sa taas. Kasi nakakayamot ko minsan na nasaan na ang 150,000 na naibigay kay Apo Lakay. Iba lang mga update. I think you must have to pray for yourself if we are going to ask the question. Why? That is a disrespect. Even queen and king, bago sila mag-move, they even ask permission to Apo Lakay. At yung nagsasabing tawagan mo ako, queen, tawagan mo si ganito. Those who, baga nga, yung nagsasabing okay lang yung nakikiusap ka, pero yung inuutosan mo ang reyna, ang hari, talagang napakawalang respeto. Kaya nga, ako, hindi naman sa nagmamalinis. Pero masakit talaga akong magsalita kung yan ay katotohanan. Truth hurts, remember. Alam kong marami ang nasasaktan. Kasi marami ang matataas ng ego na hindi kayang tanggapin kung ano. Kasi ito, programa ng Diyos, ng Allah. Dapat sana tayong lahat magbago. Tayong lahat. I even include myself permanente kung sinasali ang aking sarili kasi hindi po ako perfecto. Kaya nga, masakit ako magsalita. But who? Sino pa ba ang magsasalita? To enlighten you. Para maimulat at sabihin kung ano ang dapat. Totoong masakit. Talagang masakit ang katotohanan. At yan ay talagang dapat nating pag-isipan. Leaders, members, sultan, sultana, lahat po tayo. Magbago po tayo. Dahil programa to ng Diyos Allah. The submission of authority. Kinakailangan natin na kumbaga nga, andyan ang ating mahal na reyna, andyan ang ating mahal na presidente. Ever since wala pa tayo sa tawag nito, wala pa tayo sa mission, andyan na sila sa mission. Gumagawa na sila para sa ating lahat. But hindi ibig sabihin na napasali tayo sa mission, we have the right to ask question or to question them what's going on. Napakawalang hiya. Yan ang katotohanan. Na kumbaga nga, ayaw ko nang magsalita. Hindi naman ako namumulja, pero talagang yan ang katotohanan. Na talagang hanggang ngayon, marami pa rin ang hindi nakakaunawa sa mission. Yung parang easy-easy lang sa lahat. Kung utusan ko yung tawagan mo si ganito. Is that tama ba yan? Nauutosan ang mahal na reyna? Pen, bakit hindi nag-a-update si City Halima? Matapos nakuha ang 150,000, tahimik na. Because marami tayong ginagawa. Number one, we bakit the national office. We have the new location, but we are not going to give you our location or our exact address. Kasi nga, this is a mission. But not to the extent na nagtatago kami sa inyo. We still have the facilities in Night Mall, but we secure all the files, the documents, kasi nga, alam lahat ng mga kalaban kung saan. Doon nga nakatira ang mga lolo ko. Yan ang katotohanan. A reason why we bakit the national office, not only for our safety and security, but for all the files that we need to secure. Kaya nga, kung marami ang nagtatanong, nagrereklamo daw na ang dami-dami hinihingi ni City Halima na mga forms or yung mga folder, that is para po sa inyo. Hindi po yun po para sa amin. At hindi rin yan namin kawalan. Bakit? Kung if you are going to comply, maganda kasi nga, maayos namin. But if you're not going to comply, hindi yan namin kawalan. Problema nyo na yan. Yan ang katotohanan. Talagang diretsohan na akong magsalita. Wala yung ibig sabihin na kakilala, kung ano-ano pa dyan. Hindi. Programa to ng Diyos, ng Allah. Gamitin natin at ayusin natin. Hindi para sa ating sariling kapakanan, kundi sa kapakanan ng bawat isa. Kaya nga lahat nagsasakripisyo. Even our beloved king and queen. Kumbaga nga sinugal pati buhay. Ganon din si Apo Lakay. So, sana maunawaan po natin lahat. Marami ang nagtatanong kung ano na, kumusta na ang kalagayan ng ating mahal na Rina. Okay, she's doing well. At the same time, they are all safe right now. Kasi nga, nag-attend sila, may talagang pinuntahan para makita ng buong mundo na talagang sila ay buhay, niradya. Kasi hindi lang sa dokumento pinapatay, sa lahat na. Pero at least, sa ngayon, buong mundo nakatutok sa kanila. Kaya, pagdasal po natin, yung sinasabi natin na transformation. Dahil sa ASEAN ngayon na ginaganap sa Kuala Lumpur, sana ang 66 plus 1 Commonwealth Republic ay magkaisa na at sumunod. Dahil pag hindi talaga sumunod, malaking dinubyo ang mangyayari. Hindi na ito basta-basta. Kalikasan na ang sisingin. Dahil kailangan na maimplementa ng tama. Kaya wag na po nating antayin na maging huli ang lahat. Kaya nga, nagpapasalamat ako sa ating mga kapatid who comply their reports. So, marami po kami natatanggap, not only their financial report, yung master list nila na nakakulong na, kumpleto na po. Pati rin yung mga, kumbaga, even their project proposal, yung kanilang mga application, yung mga forms, at lalong-lalo na po, pinapasalamatan namin yung nagbigay talaga ng mga letter of complaint. Bakit? Inaayos po natin. Kaya nga, sinasabi ko, lahat from RCI, SIC, lahat-lahat na pati health pass, ginagawa na ngayon para maibigay, para walang masabi ni kahit sino na na-scam sila. Kahit sa materials, we sacrifice. Alam niyo ba kung magkano ang binabayad na lang? Na kahit supposed to be para na yun sa ID natin, para na sa materials ng ID at para sa mission, para na rin sa mga pasilidad sana. Pero nagbabayad tayo per ID para gawin yung backlog. Yan ang katotohanan. At sana maintindihan nyo, lahat ginagawa po. Ipinapadala na po ang lahat na nagagawa. Ganon din yung Aeropass. Sinabi ko noon na may paraan. na maibigay namin. Pwede na rin ang mga tao na Apulakay. Pero at least, we still have time na gawin namin. So, ginagawa namin, inaayos namin. Yun lang ang problema kasi nga, yung mga individual kasi, nasasapawan. Kaya nga, kung may ano natin ngayon, hindi na pwede yung direct isa-isa. Dadaan na sa leader. Para yung leader na lang ang bibigyan. Sila na ang gagawa ng paraan o doon na kayo kukuha. So, yun ang nangyari. Na marami talaga yung nag-direct daw, tapos hindi naman naibigay yung mga resibo or hindi rin naibigay yung complete address. Pero sa ngayon, marami. At least, kung hindi ako nagkamali, mga more or less 6 na katao ang napadalhan na. Kasi talagang ang iba, walang contact number, walang complete address. So, paano yung naibibigay? So, ngayon, marami talaga ang, kumbaga nga, in a top level transaction, kailangan pa bang iwagayway o i-announce o i-broadcast kung ano ang ginagawa. Kaya nga, nag-iingat kami. Iniingatan namin, hindi lang ang buhay ng ating mahal na hari, kasi kapakanan nating lahat ito. Kung wala man kayong maririnig or hindi yung araw-araw, pero hindi naman po kami nagkulang. Kasi nga, ginagawa namin. Even Sunday, even Saturday. Mabuti pa nga kayo, kasi nga, nag-aantay lang, nagre-reklamo. Yan ang katotohanan. Na akala mo kung nakapagbigay kung magkano, ay talagang sila na. Ito, ilang beses ko na sinabi, hindi to pera-pera. Hindi to palakasan. Dahil programa to ng Diyos, puso ang pinagbabasihan dito. Attitude counts more than educational attainment. Kahit anong taas ng edukasyon na nakuha mo. Kung wala kang puso, wala kang purity of intent, wala pa rin yan. Attitude counts more than educational attainment. But remember, obedience unlock understanding. Kung ayaw niyong sumunod, di wala. That's not our problem. Hindi yan namin kawalan. Kaya nga, ang sumunod, thank you so much. Kasi nga, talagang we secure your files. Yes, pina-address ko pa rin sa Light Mall. Kasi nga, from time to time, pick up lang po. Kasi, para minsanan lang po, nakunin. Kahit once a week lang napuntahan doon. Kasi ipipick up lang sa LBC. Kasi mahirap na talaga na magstay kami doon. For our safety and security, not only the files, the documents, but sa kapakanan na po ng lahat. Kasi nga sa ngayon, nasa dulo na po tayo ng full implementation. So, kaya nga, inaayos natin ang ating mga dokumento. At ipagdasal po natin na kung ano man ang mapag-usapan at mapagkasunduan sa ASEAN ngayon. At sana sumunod na sila para wala nang dinubyo na mangyayari. Kasi pag talagang hindi sila sumunod, wala tayong magagawa. Kundi talagang ipapataw ng Diyos ang kanyang parusa. Yan ang katotohanan. Hindi po kami nagpipredict, pero yun ang katotohanan. Na dahil matagal na dapat itong nangyari, tapos na ang mga dokumento noon pa man. 2000 din dapat andyan na. Pero wala. Hanggang ngayon. Dahil nga, sa kasakiman, at marami pa rin ang hindi nagbabago sa ngayon. Kaya nga, yung sinasabi natin, many are called, but few are chosen. I hope we are one of the chosen. Oo, hindi po ako perfecto. Masakit akong magsalita. Pero, kinakailangan nyo rin pong malaman kung ano ang katotohanan. Dahil kung mananahimik na lang po kami, we are part of the sin of omission and commission. Bakit? Kahit nakita na namin mali, may pagkukulang, walang nagkukurot. Hindi po yan ang training ng matanda kung saan ako hinubog para sa mission na to. A reason why I said truth hurts, but we must have to transform, not only physical but spiritually mature. Kasi nga, hindi ito sa atin, kundi for the upcoming generation and generations to come. Na, yung ko ba, it's a privilege. Dahil tayo napagbigyan sa ating panahon ngayon, mag-uumpisa ang tinatawag natin na golden age. Kaso lang, marami pa rin ang hindi nakakaunawa at marami pa rin ang sakim. Dahil nga, ganid sa kapangyarihan. Matataas ang ihi. Akala mo kung sino na sila. We all know, not even in Quran, but even in Bible, sa ating mga kapatid na Islam at Christian, pantay-pantay po tayo sa mata ng Diyos ng Allah. Kaya, we still have time to change. Magbago po tayo. Ayusin po natin ang tama. Hindi natin yung lalamangan ang isa, aapakan ang isa, kundi dapat sana sabay-sabay tayong aang. Tulungan ang bawat isa. Ang ating mahal na Rina at mahal na Hari halos walang matulog. Pagbabiyahe from Malacca to Kuala Lumpur, ilang oras, madaling araw, hating gabi, ganun. Ang sakripisyo nila para lang maayos ang lahat. At kailangan pa ba namin ipangalandakan kung ano yung mga ginagawa ng bawat isa? Not only in financial, but sa mga lahat-lahat na. Kaya nga, sana focus na tayo. Hindi lang sa pagbabago para sa ating sarili, ayusin natin ang mga dokumento, ayusin natin ang lahat, at ipagdasal ang bawat isa. Lalong-lalo na ang kapakanan ng ating mahal na Rina, mahal na Hari, at ganoon din ang ating mahal na Presidente. Dahil hanggang ngayon, marami pa rin, hindi pa rin tayo tinatantanan ng kalaban. Gamitin man nila ang lahat ng mga black magic, but that is only limited power. Dahil walang makakatumbas ang power ng Diyos, ng Allah. So, I hope na kumbaga nga, yung mga sinasabi natin na transformation, physical and spiritual, gawin po natin ang tama at nararapat. Kasi nga, yung sinasabi natin na inaanyayahan, ginagabayan kayong gawin ang mga report nyo sa columnar kasi nga, kung ano ang mangyari, shutdown ang internet, shutdown ang lahat ng mga system, back to zero ang lahat. Paano namin mariretrieve ang inyong mga accounts? Paano namin mariretrieve ang lahat ng mga tawag nito, mga records? Kaya nga, to secure the files, in every area, isang columnar, kumpleto na master list. Kasi nga, mayroon kayo, may kasa, mayroon din kami dito. At least implementasyon, yun ang pagbabasihan namin. Kung may maidagdag man, walang problema. Kasi nga, syempre, hindi naman natin, kumbaga nga, ibig sabihin na hanggang doon na lang. Close the book. Hindi naman yan ganon. Kasi nga, marami rin ang humahabol sa ngayon. So, sa lahat po, na kung gusto pang kumuha ng, tawag nito, yung, lalong-lalo na yung United Nations ID, with microchips yan, pero hindi namin maibigay yung United Nations ID. So, yung mga pinding lang noon, ang maibigay, mga pinding na SIC, RCI, United Nations, at saka yung tawag nito, yung mga health pass. But the rest, sinabi ko na, we have a system. Pagdating ng panahon, we have a technology na may microchips na, kagaya sa mga tinatawag natin na yung mga card, mga ATM, na talagang may chips na doon na nakalagay. Kasi nga, for security. After na po ng shutdown. At kung sino rin ang gustong kumuha ng rough ID, make sure na, kumbaga nga, ipadala nyo lang po or coordinate with your leaders kasi nga para minsanan. Kasi sa totoo lang, doon din kami na napapagasto dahil nga yung pagpapadala sa isa't isa, syempre 250 lang. Yung materialis pa. Ito dapat para sa mission. Sinolder na nga ni Kim. Kaya nga, medyo talagang kapos na kapos. Pero, I know this is a test. Lahat tayo sinusubukan. Maging matatag at magbago po tayo. Dahil hindi po ito para lang sa atin. Hindi para sa buong mundo at sa mga darating pang henerasyon. Yan ang pinaghahandaan po natin. Sumasaya po na sa atin, napasama tayo. We are part of the transformation. We are part of the full implementation. At sana walang maiwan. Kaya nga, yung naghihilaan pababa, dapat magbago na po tayo. May mga protocol po tayo sa implementasyon. Ang ayaw maniwala sa nasyonal, hindi po namin yan problema. Kasi nga, may order ang ating mahal na Rina, may order ang mahal na hari, ganun din ang ating mahal na presidente. So, nasa inyo na rin po yan. Kung wala kayong tiwala sa amin, magkikita kung magkikita pa tayo sa dulo. Yun ang tanong, kung magkikita pa ba tayo sa dulo. So, alam ko na talagang napahaba ako sa pagsasalita ngayon. So, tawagan natin si Bunso. So, I hope wala na kumbaga yung mga bangayan, yung mga siraan, lalong-lalo na po yung respeto sana. Pagmamahal at respeto. Ang nanaig sa bawat isa. Lalong-lalo na sa ating mahal na hari at mahal na Rina. Hi, Bunso. Kumusta ka na? Go na.
Okay lang din.
Okay. So, actually, nag-umpisa na ako. Kasi talaga, kumbaga nga, alam mo na. So, okay, Bunso. At tapos na siguro akong mag-sermon eh. Hindi, Bunso. Okay, I'm going to give you the time now, Bunso.
Yes, sir. Greetings to everyone. And also greetings to President Ferdinand Nicolay Marcos here, Queen Helen of Georgia, and Queen Mamay of Georgia. Brothers and sisters, today we speak about submission to authority, a word that many forget, but is deeply connected to peace, discipline, and understanding. In absolute divine monarchy, obedience is not control. It is the key that unlocks wisdom, patience, and divine order. Many people always ask, what's the update? Why is it silent? But silence is not absence. Silence is where true instruction is heard. When you obey without question, you begin to understand the heart of leadership. That everything has its perfect time, and every decision has a purpose bigger than what our eyes can see. Respect is not shown only in words, but in how we follow. Submission means trusting that our leaders see the vision clearer than we do. It means humbling ourselves to the divine order set before us. Because when we question every move, we block our own understanding. But when we obey with faith, we obey doors that lead to truth and unity. Many forget that obedience is not a weakness. It is strength and discipline. It is choosing peace instead of confusion, trust instead of doubt. The divine monarchy is not built by those who argue, but by those who believe, who follow, and who act in alignment with divine direction. So let us be people who submit not out of fear, but out of trust. People who obey not because we are forced, but because we understand that real respect starts with humility. In silence, we hear guidance, and obedience, we find purpose. And in submission, we see the light that leads to divine peace. When we submit to authority, we are not surrendering our freedom. We are aligning ourselves with the order that protects us. Every kingdom stands firm because of discipline, not rebellion. Every vision moves forward because of unity, not pride. Many fail to understand that questioning without respect destroys trust. The moment we start to doubt the wisdom of divine leadership, we start to lose our own direction. The true king and queen do not move based on noise. They move based on purpose. That is why silence is sacred. It means something great is being prepared. Those who always ask why are things quiet do not see what's happening beyond their eyes, while others complain, the faithful obey. And in that obedience, they gain peace. In that peace, they see the bigger picture. Because the truth is simple. Obedience unlocks understanding. Submission is not about losing power. It is about knowing your place in the divine design. The absolute divine monarchy teaches us that respect is not demanded. It is reflected through how we live, how we speak, and how we follow. To those who truly serve, obedience is not a burden. It is an honor. It is a sign that we trust the process, that we believe in the divine timing set by our king and queen. This is how we show loyalty, by standing firm, even in silence, and by walking with faith, even when the path is unclear. Let every heart be reminded. Obedience brings clarity, and submission brings peace. Let us continue to walk under divine authority, not with pride, but with understanding. For in that obedience, the light of truth will always shine. In this journey of the absolute divine monarchy, submission is the foundation of growth. When we learn to bow in humility, we rise in understanding. When we stop arguing and start listening, wisdom begins to enter our hearts. Authority is not meant to destroy us, it exists to guide us. The commands of our king and queen are not random. They are instructions born from divine wisdom, meant to build, protect, and prepare the people. That is why it is written in every heart that true loyalty is tested in silence, not in noise. There are many who say they are loyal, yet their words carry disrespect. Loyalty is not in speech alone, it is proven in obedience. Even when we don't see the full picture, we trust that the leaders walk with divine sight. That is the meaning of faith, to follow even when you don't understand everything yet. When you obey, your heart becomes light. You stop carrying the weight of confusion and pride. You begin to see things clearly. That is why the key to understanding is submission. The more you obey, the more your spirit awakens to truth. And so, to all the people, let us return to that sacred order. Respect your leaders. Trust divine timing and silence your doubts. The world outside may be full of Christians, but inside this divine structure lies peace. Let your actions speak louder than your words. Show your faith through obedience, your respect through silence, and your love through submission. Because when the people move in one direction under divine authority, nothing can shake the kingdom that stands in truth. And as we continue to walk under the absolute divine monarchy, let us remember that order is strength. Without order, chaos rules. Without obedience, truth is lost. That is why submission to authority is not just a rule, it is a reflection of divine harmony. When a person learns to follow with sincerity, they become a vessel of peace. They carry light wherever they go. But when pride takes over, even the smallest commands becomes heavy. Pride closes the heart. Obedience opens it. That is why always lifted, and the proud are always confused. They still do not see that every instruction from divine leadership carries purpose. Even if we don't understand it at first, time will prevail its wisdom. The problem today is that many people want results without discipline. They want blessings without obedience. But in the divine order, the key must always turn before the door opens. And that key is submission. Queen Helen of Georgia and King Mama of Georgia have shown that true leadership is not about control, but about care and sacrifice. Their silence is not weakness, it is patience. Their guidance is not for fame, it is for divine fulfillment. And for us, the people, our role is to follow, not because we are commanded, but because we understand the deeper reason behind it. President Ferdinand Ijolen Marcos Sr. once taught the importance of discipline and love for the nation. Those same principles live again in absolute divine monarchy, where authority, respect, and order unite under one divine purpose. Let us not question what is already written. Let us not delay what is already planned. The time is now to move as one body, one mission, one faith. For those who obey will always be guided, and those who submit will always find peace. To those who truly listen, obedience is not a command. It is a calling to trust the unseen, to follow the divine will, even when the world outside grows louder with doubt. It takes courage to stay silent in a noisy world, but that silence becomes our strength. In every kingdom, there is structure. In every structure, there is order. When we follow that order with respect, blessings flow naturally. That is why the absolute divine monarchy teaches us not just about leadership, but about responsibility, the kind that begins with each of us. Submission does not make us small, it makes us strong enough to serve. The greatest leaders in history were once the most obedient followers. They learned discipline, humility, and faith before they ever carried authority. That is the same path we must take, learning to obey before we lead. Many forget that the power of the monarchy does not come from force, but from unity. When the people move together with one heart, guided by trust and obedience, no storm can shake them. But when we argue, when we question with pride, we weaken the foundation built for us by divine wisdom. So to everyone listening, learn to listen with your heart, not just your ears. Learn to follow with peace, not with complaint. The quiet obedience of one faithful heart is stronger than the loud words of 1,000 doubters. We are chosen to walk this path not by chance, but by purpose. Let our submission be our offering. Let our obedience be our strength. And let our respect be the mirror of our loyalty to the divine order of Queen Helen of Georgia and King Mama of Georgia. Every act of obedience we give is a seed planted in the soil of divine order. It may not grow overnight, but in time it will bear fruit of wisdom, peace, and understanding. Those who stay patient in obedience will soon see why things had to happen the way they did. In the absolute divine monarchy, nothing is wasted. Every silence has meaning. Every instruction has purpose. Every delay has a reason. That is why submission is not just following rules. It is trusting that God's timing is always perfect through His chosen leaders. Some may say, I want to see results before I follow. But that is not faith. That is condition. True submission means following first and understanding later. It means trusting the process even when your eyes cannot yet see the outcome. This is the era where the proud will fall and the humble will rise. Those who question without respect will remain lost, but those who obey in silence will be lifted with honor. The divine system cannot be shaken by noise. It only listens to hearts that are still and faithful. To submit is to protect the peace. To obey is to guard the kingdom. person who chooses obedience becomes a pillar of stability in the absolute divine monarchy. And when all pillars stand together, the kingdom cannot be broken. Let this be a reminder to everyone. Submission is not a weakness, it is divine strength. When you kneel in humility, heaven stands with you. When you obey with faith, the divine path becomes clear. This is the way of true order, the way of unity, and the way of peace under the reign of our beloved Queen Helen of Georgia and King Mamay of Georgia. The time has come for every heart to reflect and return to the foundation of divine respect. Obedience is not only about following a command, it is about aligning with the higher will. In the absolute divine monarchy, submission connects heaven and earth through the act of trust. Many people today want freedom, but forget that freedom without discipline becomes chaos. True freedom is found inside order, where every person knows their role, respects their leader, and moves in unity. That is the kind of freedom the divine monarchy brings. Freedom through structure, peace through obedience. There is a reason why silence is powerful. It is in silence that the spirit can listen. It is in silence that understanding is born. The moment we stop talking too much and start obeying, the heart begins to see clearly what the mind could not. That is why all leaders remain calm and quiet, because divine work moves best without noise. The true follower does not chase updates. They follow instructions. They do not demand signs. They live in faith. And when they are told to wait, they wait with peace, not complaints. This is the kind of obedience that pleases heaven and strengthens the kingdom on earth. Queen Helen of Georgia and King Mama of Georgia carry the divine mission not for themselves, but for the people. They live not to be praised, but to fulfill what is written. The least we can do as servants of the divine plan is to follow with full heart, full faith, and full respect. Let this message reach to everyone. In silence, there is direction. In obedience, there is wisdom. In submission, there is salvation. The absolute divine monarchy is not built by power, but by purity. And those who submit with pure hearts will always walk in the light of divine truth. And to those who are still uncertain, remember this. Submission is the language of trust. It speaks louder than explanations and carries more weight than arguments. The moment you submit with peace, your heart begins to understand what your mind could not. In the absolute divine monarchy, obedience is not blind. It is guided by the love and purpose. We follow because we believe in the divine mission set before us. We trust because we know that Queen Helen of Georgia and King Mama of Georgia are not pleading for their own glory, but for the fulfillment of divine order. Every instruction given is a piece of a greater picture, and when we obey, we help complete that picture. Those who question too much only delay their own awakening, but those who follow in faith will soon see how every step fits perfectly in the plan. It is time to let go of pride and confusion. Time to stop asking why silence or what's next. The answer is simple. Silence is preparation. Stillness is strength. Obedience is understanding. These are the pillars that hold the kingdom steady in this time of change. Our duty as the people is not to compete with the voice of authority, but to carry it forward through our actions. Every obedient heart becomes a living message of peace. Every respectful soul becomes a reflection of divine harmony. So let us continue walking in discipline and faith. Let us keep our hearts pure and our words respectful, because the true measure of loyalty is not what we say when things are loud, but how we remain faithful when everything is quiet. The path of obedience may seem hard, but it leads to glory. The way of submission may feel heavy, but it ends in peace. This is the sacred order, the absolute divine monarchy, built on respect, guarded by obedience and fulfilled through unwavering faith. When a person fully submits to divine authority, their life becomes calm and purposeful. They no longer chase confusion or doubt because they know that divine hand is already guiding their path. And the absolute divine monarchy, submission is not slavery. It is surrendering pride to gain clarity. Disobedience creates distance from truth. Every time we question without respect, we build a wall between our hearts and the divine will. But every time we obey, that wall breaks down and light enters again. The light is what gives us peace.
Bunso? Hello, Bunso? Bunso?
Hello, hello, ate.
No, walang internet?
Rinig mo po ako, ate? Rinig po ba?
Wala ay mo tingog.
Rinig po.
Okay, padayon.
Now, disobedience creates distance from truth. Every time we question without respect, we build a wall between our hearts and the divine will. But every time we obey, that will breaks down and light enters again. That light is what gives us peace, direction, and understanding. Queen Helen of Dorothea and King Mama of Dorothea lead with grace and divine discipline. Their silence teaches us patience. Their steadiness teaches us faith. Authority reminds us that leadership is sacred, and our obedience completes that sacred duty. President Ferdinand H.L.A. Marcos Sr. once proved that discipline can unite a nation. Now under divine order, that same discipline is called to unite the world. The absolute divine monarchy is not just a structure of power. It is a movement of hearts, guided by divine wisdom and heavenly alignment. Let us all be reminded that submission doesn't remove your voice. It purifies it. It makes your words meaningful and your actions fruitful. Obedience refines the spirit. It teaches us humility, patience, and peace. Those who mock silence will never hear divine instructions. Those who question without faith will never find answers. Those who obey with love will always be guided to the truth. So let the people rise, not with noise, but with unity, not with questions, but with faith. Let every home, every family, every heart to follow the divine order with trust and humility. For in submission, we find our strength, and in obedience, we find the true light of the absolute divine monarchy. When we live under the divine authority, we live in peace. The heart that obeys no longer struggles to control everything. Instead, it learns to rest the will of God. That is the beauty of submission. It teaches us that not everything needs to be understood, only trusted. Many of us were taught to always speak, always ask, always challenge, but the divine wisdom moves differently. Sometimes the greatest act of faith is to stay still and obey. When you stop demanding explanations and start following with trust, you begin to see that every instruction carries hidden blessings. Queen Helen of Dorothea and King Mama of Dorothea were chosen not by men, but by divine appointment. Their authority is sacred because it is guided by heaven itself. To question divine authority is to question the order of heaven. That is why obedience is not only respect, it is worship through action. In the absolute divine monarchy, every follower has a purpose. Some are called to speak, some to serve, and some to simply obey and uphold peace. All are equal in their responsibility to protect divine order. When everyone moves according to their rule, harmony reigns. It is written in every divine teaching that obedience brings understanding. Those who resist will stay in darkness, but those who follow with faith will be enlightened. That enlightenment is not given through argument, it is revealed through obedience. So today, let this message echo across every heart. Silence is not weakness, it is wisdom in motion. Patience is not delay, it is divine timing unfolding. Submission is not defeat, it is victory through humility. The absolute divine monarchy stands as a beacon of order in a world of confusion. It is a reminder that only through respect, obedience, and submission can true peace be restored among the people. Let us continue to follow this path with faith, knowing that every act of obedience builds the foundation of divine justice and everlasting peace. Every kingdom built on obedience stands unshaken because its people understand discipline. In the absolute divine monarchy, our strength is not found in arguments or debates. It is found in how deeply we follow the divine order set before us. The world outside may move in noise, but within divine order, silence becomes our shield. Silence protects peace, while obedience sustains it. This is how divine leadership works. Through harmony, not competition. Through respect, not rebellion. When we obey without question, we show that our faith is mature. We trust the process even when we do not see the outcome. That trust becomes our protection because those who follow divine direction will never be lost, even if the path feels unclear. Queen Helen and King Mamai are carrying a divine mission that goes beyond human plans. They move by heavenly guidance, not by public demand. Those who truly understand this will stop asking why and start asking how can I serve. Each instruction we receive is a step toward order, and each act of submission is a brick that strengthens the kingdom. When every heart learns to obey, confusion fades and unity grows. The moment we learn to stop resisting authority, divine wisdom starts to flow freely into our lives. Our obedience is not only for ourselves, it is for the generations after us. We build this foundation now so that the next will live in peace and truth. Every act of loyalty today becomes a seed of blessings for tomorrow. So let us walk with pure hearts and humble spirits. Let us keep our eyes on the divine path, not the noise of the world. The time for questioning has passed. The time for faith as the absolute divine monarchy calls. So each one of us to rise in obedience, to stand in respect, and to live under divine peace that no storm can destroy. True strength is proven in how deeply we obey when no one is watching. The world measures power by control, but divine wisdom measures it by surrender. The one who can submit with a peaceful heart carries more power than the one who commands with pride. And the absolute divine monarchy submission is not weakness. It is spiritual maturity. It teaches us to trust what heaven has already arranged. Every law, every order, every word that comes from divine authority carries the weight of heaven's plan. Our duty is not to question, but to fulfill it. Those who walk in obedience walk in peace. Their lives are guided, their minds are calm, and their purpose is clear. But those who fight against divine order will always struggle because rebellion brings confusion. The moment we choose obedience, we invite divine light to guide our steps. Queen and king embody the very essence of divine leadership, gentle and patient, firm in truth, and guided by heaven's will. Their silence is their wisdom. Their decisions are divine timing. And their authority is the voice of order in a world filled with noise. Let us not be like those who demand signs before believing. Let us be like those who act in faith, who follow in trust, and who obey in silence. For understanding does not come before obedience. It comes after. And so every follower under the absolute divine monarchy, remember this truth. Obedience brings blessings that words cannot explain. Respect opens doors that strength cannot break. Submission lifts the soul to place pride can never reach. The world may change, but the divine order remains. It is the foundation that will never crumble. As long as we stay humble, respectful, and obedient to the divine authority placed before us, peace will remain, order will stand, and the light of truth will continue to shine across the world. And as we walk further in the divine journey, let us remember that obedience is not just a rule, it is a reflection of love. When we obey, we show love for order, love for peace, and love for the divine plan that guides the absolute divine monarchy. Submission trains our hearts to listen, not only to commands, but to the spirit behind them. It teaches us to be sensitive to timing, to respect silence, and to act with discipline even when no one is watching. Through obedience, we learn that true greatness begins in humility. Many still chase recognition, but the true servants of divine order seek only to fulfill their purpose. They do not need praise. Their peace comes from knowing they have obeyed the will of heaven. The highest honor is not in being seen, it is in being faithful. Queen Helen of Dorje and King Mamai of Dorje carry that same example before us. Their leadership is calm because it comes from understanding. Their authority is steady because it is rooted in divine truth. They move not by impulse, but by divine instruction. And that is why they never fall. To follow such authority is a privilege. It means we are part of a kingdom where every rule has a purpose and every silence has meaning. The moment we surrender our pride, we receive understanding. The moment we obey, the divine plan unfolds naturally before us. President Ferdinand Hegel and Marcos Sr. once said that discipline is the soul of any nation. In the absolute divine monarchy, that discipline is lifted to a higher level. Spiritual discipline born from faith and sustained by obedience. So let us live not as a people of complaint, but as a people of commitment. Let us be living examples of loyalty, peace, and respect. For when the people are obedient, the kingdom is strong. When the kingdom is strong, divine peace reigns. And when divine peace reigns, heaven's order is fulfilled on earth. This is the deeper meaning of divine order. That every heart moves with purpose, every voice speaks with respect, and every act reflects loyalty to heaven's will. The absolute divine monarchy is not built on fear, but on faith, the trust, the unseen hand of God working through His chosen leaders. The more we obey, the more we understand that obedience is protection. It guards us from pride, from confusion, and from destruction. It keeps our focus pure and our hearts steady. The moment we chose to submit, we step into alignment with divine peace. There are many who hear instructions, but do not follow them. They speak of loyalty, but act with rebellion. Yet, the true servant does not need to prove their loyalty. Their actions already speak it. The quiet follower, the faithful worker, the respectful soul. These are the people who carry the weight of divine strength. Queen and King are guiding us through a time where silence itself is a test. Many will not understand this season because they rely only on noise. But those who stay still in faith will be the ones who see the truth unfold before their eyes. President Ferdinand Hegel and Marcos once reminded the people that order begins in the heart. That same messages lives again today. For how can a kingdom stand in the hearts of its people are filled with doubt? Unity that only exists when obedience becomes natural, when respect becomes a habit, and when the faith becomes our breath. Let every household, every family, every individual hold these truths close. To obey is to build, to submit is to strengthen, and to respect is to bless. No question asked, no hesitation given, only trust, faith, and action. For the light of the absolute divine monarchy will continue to shine only through the hearts that follow in purity. Let us be those hearts. Let us be those hands that move with discipline. Let us be the one people who carry divine peace wherever we go. Before I give the full closing, let this serve as a humble reminder to all that the heart of the absolute divine monarchy beats through our obedience and faithful. This divine structure will continue to stand as long as the people choose respect over pride and trust over doubts. We have come this far not by our own strength, but through divine mercy and guidance. The journey continues, and each of us has a role to fulfill, whether in silence, in service, or in faith. Our part matters in maintaining the peace and order of this divine foundation. And to our beloved Queen Helen and King Mamay, your leadership shines not only in words, but in action and purpose. You are the living example of how divine authority moves with patience and love. And to President Ferdinand Idril Marcos Sr., your legacy of discipline and vision continue to inspire this generation to walk with courage and order. And may the people remember that submission is not the end. It is the beginning of true understanding. Let us remain united, obedient, and humble as we await the greater revelation of the divine plan. This is not yet the final closing, but a moment to pause, to honor, to reflect, and to prepare our hearts for what is still to come. Thank you, Ate.
Thank you so much, Bunso. So, Bunso, parting words?
Yes, Ate. And as we come to this moment, let us carry in our hearts a spirit of peace, respect, and obedience that defines the absolute divine monarchy. This divine order reminds us that true leadership is guided by purpose, and true loyalty is proven through silent faith and steady action. To the President, Ferdinand Idril Marcos Sr., was showed that discipline is the soul of a nation. That same spirit lives through our Queen Helen and our King Mamay, whose patience, love, and divine wisdom continue to guide the people through stillness and truth. Let every word we speak and every act we do reflect our respect for divine authority. Let us remain humble, calm, and faithful even when we do not see the full picture. Because faith without trust is empty, and obedience without love has no life. That time we live in is sacred. It calls us to walk not by sight, but by faith, to those moved not by emotion, but by purpose, and to live not for ourselves, but for the divine order that brings unity to all. May our hearts stay pure, our loyalty remain strong, and our obedience continue to shine as proof of our understanding. The path of the absolute divine monarchy is not an easy one, but it is only a path that leads to true peace, order, and divine justice for all. Thank you, Ate.
Thank you so much, Bunso, for the nice message. And, ayaw ko lang magsalita. Tawagan kita mamaya. Thank you so much, Bunso, for the message. God bless.
God bless.
Sige. Bye-bye. So, narinig po natin si Bunso na talagang, kumbaga nga, gusto ko mang ipakita. Kaso lang, we are still nag-iingat tayo. Iniingatan natin ang bawat isa. Maraming nagtatanong, sino si Bunso? Si Bunso pa rin natin yun. Kumbaga nga, we are doing this long time ago, educational and motivational. Live lang noon. Pero sa ngayon, is kumbaga nga, recorded, but hindi rin mapakita yung mukha niya kasi nga, iniingatan din natin. So, sa mga hindi nakakaintindi, talagang yung national office existing po. May extension lang po tayo, yung sinasabi natin na yung safe house. Pinupuntahan naman doon kasi nga doon yung sa atin sa Light Mall, doon ina-address yung mga reports, mapadala. Pero talagang sinisecure natin ang mga files. Hindi lang mga files, mga dokumento, lahat-lahat na po. So, sana maintindihan po ng bawat isa dahil nga ang ginagawa namin ay para sa kapakanan po nating lahat. Hindi po ito makasarili. Hindi man namin maibigay yung complete address namin, kaya nga sabi ko, this is for the safety and security. Kasi nga, talagang nasa dulo na po tayo. At kung hindi man tayo yung laging sabing live or update, please, antayin niyo. Kasi nga, talagang maraming ginagawa. Maraming ginagawa ang ating mahal na Rina, ang ating mahal na hari, ang ating Pangulo. At ipagdasal po natin na magiging successful po ang ASEAN ngayon. Kasi nga yung 66 Commonwealth Republic, 66 plus 1, andoon po lahat. At sana, sumunod na sila bago mahuli ang lahat. Pero kung ano man ang mapag-usapan, whether positive or negative, dapat lagi tayong handa. Kasi nga, ito na yung pagsasakatuparan ng matagal na nating inaantay. So, sana, wag naman sana mangyari na dumating pa yung sinasabi natin na parusa ng kalikasan. Dahil nga, kinakailangan talagang linisin ang bawat isa. Kaya nga, tayo, we still have time to change. Ayoko yung kumbaga, nagmamalinis, nagmamarunong. Pero ito lang yung sasabihin ko, sino pa ba ang magsasalita? Hindi ako perfecto. Pero kung kinakailangan magsalita, masakit sa masakit. Pero yan ang katotohanan. Dahil we want na walang maiwan. We want you to be with us. Sama-sama tayo hanggang sa dulo. Kasi kung hayaan lang po namin, kasi nga, we have all attitudes. May mga, yung attitude tayo. Pero, kung pwede pang magbago, lower humility. Kumbaga nga, lower our pride. Be humble. Yung submission to authority. We have our king, we have our queen. We also have Apolakay. Kung ano man yung instruction nila, we must have to abide, to follow. Without yung no question us. Kasi nga, pag tanong tayo ng tanong, do we need to ask them what's going on? When in fact, buhay nila ang nakataya sa lahat ng kanilang ginagawa. So, ito na lang po masasabi ko. Ayusin natin ang ating mga dokumento dahil nga, inihanda na natin yung implementasyon. Hindi na po ito yung sinasabi na wala lang, pera-pera lang. No. Ginagawa po natin, hinahanda na po natin dahil ito na po yung pagsasakatuparan ng lahat. So sana maunawaan po ng lahat at sa lahat po ng kumbaga nakasubmit na po, thank you so much. Yung mga letter of intent at the same time your project proposal, may mga tinatawagan tayo through phone kasi nga marami yung mga SIC daw na hindi nila natanggap. So what we need is your complete detail para maayos din namin. Even though alam namin na hindi po kami ang nakatanggap or hindi man nakatanggap ni Queen, but inaayos namin kasi nga linilinis namin ang lahat ng mga kalat o mga basura ng mga taong pinagkatiwalaan noon. Yan ang katotohanan. That is masakit. Kasi nga, wala. Lahat ginamit lang sa sariling kapakanan. Ang ginagawa natin, inaayos natin, ginagabayan natin, hinahanda natin ang lahat kasi nga implementasyon ang pinag-uusapan. Pero kung masakit akong magsalita, yes, truth hurts. Pero dapat sana maging mamulat tayo sa katotohanan dahil ito ang panahon ng pagbabago. Ito ang panahon ng pagbalik loob sa Diyos, sa Allah. Dahil ito na po, we are at the last days. At nawa, huwag na po nating antayin na ang kalamidad o sakuna ang mangyayari o ang maghuhusga or sisingil sa atin. Kaya ginagawa natin ito para lang sa future. Not only for the generation, but the generations to come. So, thank you so much. At nawa maintindihan magkaisa, humble down, lower your pride. Hindi po ito pataasan, pagalingan, o hindi po ito pakapitan na kakilala ka ni King or ni Queen or marami akong perang na itulong. Hindi po yan ang pinagbabasihan. Puso po ang pinagbabasihan. Kasi nga, mission ito. Programa ng matagal ng mga, kumbaga, not only Ama Ali, even Tatay Martin, matagal na pong nakahanda ito para sa atin. Kaya nga, wag na po natin patagalin pa. Magbago na po tayong lahat. Wag na po nating antayin na parusahan pa tayo ng Diyos, ng Allah. Dahil nga, sa katigasan ng ating mga ulo, sa taas ng ating mga ego. Yan po ang katotohanan. Talagang yan ang masakit. Talagang masakit talaga akong magsalita. Yan ang inaamin ko. But that's not for my own sake. Sino pa ba ang magmumulat at sino pa ang gagabay sa inyo kung walang magsasalita at walang gagabay, walang magsasabi. Kaya nga, sa lahat ng natatamaan, bato-bato sa buhol, ang matamaan buhol, pasensya na, pero yan ang katotohanan. Thank you so much and God bless everyone.